babies who just can't wait to join the world.
He started out pretty rough, so we had a rough go.
Are cared for at Brenner Children's Hospital's newborn intensive care unit.
Spent some time on a mechanical ventilator and then developed a really mild chronic lung disease.
Marshall was 6 weeks premature.
He also required abdominal surgery.
Early birth complications kept pushing taking him home later and later. Past Halloween, past Thanksgiving, past the point his parents already had their tree up.
We had a calendar up that my sister made for my daughter Maisie specifically, how many sleeps until Marshall was home. And in our naivety, we thought that 70 days would be above and beyond when he would be in there. So of course it was 104. Had we known at the beginning, that would have seemed so daunting. Like how could we do that?
But just before Christmas, the gift of Marshall meeting his siblings for the first time.
Do you see him? What do you think? You see how he has red hair? Like Rhett does?
Oh, look at him. Doctors trained the family how to care for Marshall so he could be home for the holidays.
Let me go. He has several cords. He's on oxygen right now and a NG feeding tube.
The family's limiting visitors, even doing the interview over Zoom to protect Marshall from germs.
Yeah, we're basically on lockdown, but in the best way.
Because they're all together now, at home in Wilkesboro, after months of Amy spending half the week at the hospital in Winston-Salem, while Nathan cared for their other children.
When she's down there and I'm in charge, the house is not run near as efficiently as when she's here. On the weekends, when she was staying at the Ronald McDonald house, it was just kind of anything goes, you know, cereal for supper and sleep where you fall asleep at. It's a madhouse. So I am very happy to have her home 7 days a week now. So
he would text me, I am not made for this.
Every day, wondering when their baby could come home.
You know, that's $1 million question that every parent has. I mean, when is my child coming home? And I think they were patient enough to know that that day was going to come.
Patient enough because they'd been waiting too. For years, the couple wanted to adopt a child.
Us, you know, we're followers of Jesus. So we've been adopted into the Lord's family. And so to know what it's like to be taken under a wing and welcomed into a family, I mean, what greater way to do that than, you know, a child that needed a home and to say, yes, you will be a part of our family forever.
They fostered a few, hoping for a permanent addition, but it wasn't guaranteed. Then, out of the blue, a Facebook message from a woman in need.
A sense of urgency that it was time came really quickly. For me, even before I met him, I felt like he was my son. I knew for a couple days before I was able to go meet him, and I was just a basket case, just crying with my diaper bag, waiting for the say that I can go down there.
Clearly, you know, Nathan and Amy are just fantastic people, and you know, this is a wonderful thing for everybody, just because, you know, it gives hope that there's still, you know, really good people in the world.
Now, instead of anticipation hanging in the air, it's Marshall stalking.
yeah, I'm just so excited with it now being less than 10 days to Christmas, just to have another reason to praise Jesus, having a new son in our family. So
Surrounded by love in time for the holidays. Ben Briscoe, WFMY News 2.
No. I mean, what would it matter? They're not going to swipe right at me anyway.
31-year-old Aaron Smith from Greensboro could put his finger on exactly what he doesn't like about dating apps.
The biggest problem with the other apps is that my face is not featured prominently.
To cut down on competition, he created a new app called Singularity, where he's the only guy allowed on it. No matter how many times you swipe, it's only different versions of his picture.
If life gives you lemons, like your personality, for example, you should first make lemonade, and then you make sure that no other companies can produce or distribute their own soft drinks. So then it's the only game in town is lemonade. No, but seriously, this exists.
He even made commercials to promote the app.
Introducing Singularity.
Created with the help of his best friend and software engineer, Scott McDowell.
All of us who have done online dating in some sort can all relate to that. It really does quite suck.
But not everyone has a computer genius at their disposal. So how do you improve your odds? By knowing when and where to look. Tinder has the most men on it, but to get women, Tinder tied with plenty of fish. Your age matters too. From 18 to 45, Tinder is king. 25 to 34, it's plenty of fish. And 45 to 65 is most likely to find love on Match. The best day of the week to make your move is Thursday. Most people use the apps then looking for a date on the weekend. And don't give up hope of finding true love.
It's 100% possible. We're proof of it.
Jonathan and Amanda Caudill met over Bumble and were married less than 4 months later.
Trusting God to write your love story. Like, just
Be authentic, be honest. That's the biggest
Yeah.
key. Too many people try to sell themselves like a car, and you just have to be honest.
No, one day you too could delete all these dating apps.
Boy. Very nice.
As for Aaron, he hasn't heard from many women after making his new app.
No. Well, I mean, other than like my mom who calls me, I hear from her pretty often. No.
But he hopes creativity will be the key to finding his own love song.
Hopefully it'll give people a chuckle about just the absurdity about what we're kind of reduced to as a society.
How many doors are there to this house? She squinted up at him.
The world of words on a page.
There's the front door, the back door, the gun room door.
Gives Kevin Chandler his door to explore. Loving reading from an early age.
A good story in a good world with good characters makes all the difference.
In part because adventuring in real life is a little bit harder for Kevin and his sister.
My muscles just get weaker over time. It's a progressive disease.
All this time, Kevin's wondered what it's like where his favorite authors are from in Europe. The home of J.M. Barrie, C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien.
Reading their books, I just, it was really on my heart to be there. I want to explore, the downtown area as well. Those are pretty old, if you think about London or Paris or Dublin, they're not exactly when they were built. They weren't built for electric wheelchairs.
Kevin shared his blues with some guys he met playing music.
Slipped on those shoes and he walked down the aisle.
He struck a chord.
I've traveled to a number of countries and places in the world, and I've always been very cognizant of the privilege of that. And I know that not everyone in the world has the privilege of getting on a plane and traveling places.
And not everyone has the privilege of such good friends. Look at this picture. Philip, Tom, and 2 others from across the country are volunteering to take turns carrying Kevin in this backpack across all the places he dreamed about. Trying it out now before they visit 3 countries in 3 weeks.
Because we're really helping him get out of his comfort zone.
Pressing their own limits, too. Since Kevin weighs 65 pounds, Philip joined CrossFit.
Well, having to really experience a lot of new things just for this trip, yeah. It's pushing us all.
All I can say is, how thankful I am for them. Not just for this trip, but for being a part of my life in general.
Taking the idea of a friend to lean on.
You want to go up to the Eiffel Tower when we're there?
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
To new heights.
Bonjour.
Ben Briscoe,
Practice some French.
WFMY News 2.